Okay, so Bloody Steps of the Crimea, 1854. I'm going to give some remarks, not a review, but certainly some early impressions. First of all, just great system, and I'm going to try to capture why I think this is. I'm going to suspend play because I did a couple of major things. I got a couple of major things wrong. Let's see if I can remember them. One of them is all right, where was I? So I thought that, let me see if I can find it. It's not them. So I thought here, like these infantry in skirmish formation, I thought that these infantry in skirmish formation could not attack the regular infantry in line formation. And that is because the rules essentially say that skirmish units cannot attack certain, in certain circumstances, and one of them is an enemy in line formation. And then I went on playing like that, and I realized, wow, these skirmish units are really useless. Unless you're going to have your skirmish units run off and go after the enemy's skirmish units. But if the enemy doesn't have any skirmish units, like here in this particular case, what do you do? They're pretty useless. So then I went back and I was like, okay, I caught the little, not obvious, but basically under skirmishes it says they cannot attack. And when I saw that under skirmishes, I thought attack was a broad concept, which includes fire combat and close combat. I can't remember what they call it in this game, but it's been a few days since I played. But assault or whatever it is, basically fire combat and close combat. I thought that those were both attacks. I started to change my mind here when I went to the fire combat chapter, and I looked through and I said, wow, they don't ever say attack. So then I looked and compared the different chapters and realized, okay, in this game attack means the close combat, but attack doesn't mean fire. So obviously skirmish units can fire on line infantry, which makes a lot more sense. So I'm almost certain I got that wrong. And then I was playing something else wrong. Let me see if I can try. I can't remember what it was. I was playing another. I know what it is. I should have known this too. Yep, I'm looking at my artillery. So actually these are the same. So we'll look at this artillery. So it is correct that the -2 /+2 /+3, these are the fire modifiers for basically range bands. So that's 1 to 2 hexes, /3 to 4 hexes, /5 to 6 hexes. However, and I think I did fire one of the, at least once, I think I fired my artillery at 6 hexes. That's wrong, because they still have a range. So it's 5 for both of them. So what it means is you still have to consider the range. I guess it would have been pretty simple. Not pretty simple. It would have been simpler if it was just you always do in double, in pairs of ranges, right? 1, 2, /3, 4, /4, 5, 6. But no, you still have the range. So what this means is, for this artillery unit, it means at 1 hex it's -2, or at 1 and 2 hexes it's -2, at 3 and 4 hexes it's +2, but only it's at 5 hexes range it's +3, because it has a maximum range of 5 hexes. So I got that wrong. I got that wrong too. Yeah. So And I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I fired one or both of these at least once at 6 hexes. So that would not have been allowed. So at least for those two, those were the two I wanted to go over that I figured out I got them wrong, and I was thinking, how do I reset? And then finally I was like, okay, I'm going to move on. But still, even though I'm going to move on for now, still, as an initial impression, so let me just say on two hands, right? I have two hands. I'll use two hands. On the left hand, this is incredible design. It is deep, and it's deep in a logical way. It's not deep in an irrational way. It's not deep in a chaotic way, which I don't really care for that much anymore. But on the other hand, I do recognize that it's almost like I look at this design and I'm thinking, this design is too... Well, let me just say that this design is too deep. It has too many layers of nuanced design that it just seems unlikely that this is a first-off design. Now, what I've learned is I believe that this designer has used a similar design approach in at least one other game. So first of all, let me say, okay, I don't know if it's technically a series or not, but I guess this probably is not a... Like I said, it's hard to believe that this is a first off, from a blank sheet of paper design. Also related to that is that, again, maybe a more experienced gamer can say, "Oh yeah, this is derived from the TSS, Great Battles of the American Civil War tradition." I haven't played those games yet, so I can't say that. I will get to one of the Great Battles of the American Civil War games eventually. So my point is, I don't know where it comes from. Maybe this designer did evolve this design over several games in Poland through Strategemata, or maybe another European publisher. Or maybe the designer deliberately took the TSS / Great Battles of the American Civil War design and kind of applied it to the Crimean War here in this case. Either way, it's not a bad thing. It's just quite simply not a bad thing. Okay, so real quickly, and I'm going to wrap this up. Why this game is so great is because you still have like line and column. And for that matter, you still have infantry skirmishers and cavalry skirmishers, like it's the Napoleonic era. And yet you have the weaponry that gives you meaningful ranged combat, right? So like in La Bataille, if I remember my recent experience with La Bataille, my first experience with La Bataille, basically La Bataille is 1 hex range for massed fire, 2 hex range for skirmish fire, and that's it. Here you again, I'm saying you have like really meaningful ranged combat. You have meaningful ranged combat like maybe a Civil War era game, and yet you have all these different kinds of formations and kinds of troops like a Napoleonic battle. It has like the best of both here. So the idea is not just using your artillery, your infantry, and your cavalry together properly. That would be one layer. But no, this is, okay, you got artillery. But actually in this game you have definitely different kinds of artillery, okay. Then you have infantry in line, infantry in column, infantry in skirmish formation, company column, and company column. That's company column right there, right? Company column, which is which is meaningfully distinct. Yes, it is meaningfully distinct. How? For example, these infantry in column, no strength in fire combat, whereas the company column can use 1/3 of a stack or no more than 4 fire points, strength points in fire combat. So yeah, it's just a very fascinating combination of what I think of the best Napoleonic tactical games with the best of the later, like American Civil War or maybe even First World War. You're putting that stuff together. Then you have orders. Then you have, well, I was about to say, then you have by increment strength, but actually it's not on the counters. I mean, so you have by increment strength, but then I realized, well, you have that in La Bataille. So I just keep coming back to the idea that it has, for me, some of the best aspects of La Bataille with some of the best aspects of a ranged combat game, a game that has meaningful ranged combat. So just a great design. The fact that the rules are not a problem at all, but throughout the rules, really from beginning to end, from cover to cover, the rules have that peculiar English. It's clearly not native style of writing. It has that peculiar English, but it's really not a problem. What else? Very, very happy to get this game, happy to try it. We'll definitely be coming back. Oh, one more thing, for me anyways, and it should have definitely been captured in these first few off-the-shelf videos. This is a complex game for me. Just the details, remembering all the details, getting it all in, using it all together. It's complex, but maybe not more complex than Tactical Combat Series, but complex in another way. Than Tactical Combat Series. So Bloody Steppes of the Crimea, 1854, a great game by Strategimata.